Regretting You is an upcoming film starring McKenna Grace and Alison Williams, playing the role of Clara and Morgan Grant. It is based on a 2019 novel written by Colleen Hoover, one of, if not the most respected female authors in the world. Currently, her name as well as one of her most selling book, It Ends With Us, is being dragged down the mud in this bleak, lively Justin Baldoni case. One thing that stood out to me about the trailer of the film is how it starts in a hopeful way before venturing off into depressing parts of the book. It shows the good parts of this world fast, just like the book. What also surprised me was how all the characters are very beautiful in shape, each of them dripped with amazing smiles. It isn't hard to see the casting requirement of the film. Honestly, I do not mind the monologue. Most people hate when trailers are explained to the audience. From the studio's perspective, it is easy to see why. There is a huge ensemble cast, each with their own experience, life, and story. The writers obviously know that the film will need to attract casual viewers. That is how movies are able to make a profit. The trailer will have been longer in order to explain all the many characters and why the audience should care about them. It is evident that there will be no humor in the actual film. This is a Colleen Hoover book adaptation. Anyone going to see the movie knows exactly what they are getting. Serious topics are always the meat and butter, all of which will be overshadowed by constant jokes. I love the casting of McKenna Grace and Alison Williams. The mother-daughter relationship is unique, a subgenre that has been forgotten by Hollywood. I also liked Mason Thames playing the role of Miller Adams. I liked his portrayal of Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon. It is nice to see him experiment with romantic films. Another thing I noticed is that the movie doesn't feature massive A-list celebrities. It clearly didn't work out well the last time they did that. They are just terrified of casting persons with larger-than-life egos. After the PR nightmare that was It Ends With Us, I believe the casting directors have seen enough from these celebrities with extremely large followings. They deluded themselves into thinking that Colleen Hoover name recognition alone will be enough. Do not get it twisted. Blake Lively is the only reason It Ends With Us succeeded. If it had been another actress, the movie wouldn't have performed like it had done. This is fear that another bad PR may damage Colleen Hoover's brand. So the movie trailer begins with Clara driving along the road. She spots Miller Adams, the most handsome guy in school, standing next to a traffic sign. It is still not yet revealed what he was doing there the whole time. After talking to him, something she has always wanted to do, she calls her Aunt Jill. Like in the books, Clara and her mother usually have a hard relationship. They hate each other, no matter how much each of them try to mend their relationship. Nothing seems to connect them. That is why Aunt Jenny is vital. The level of trust the two of them have in this one person is everything. Clara hates her mother because of her over-controlling habits. She forces her to do things she never did when she was young. When her mother was in high school, she got pregnant. Because of this, she had to put her dreams on hold in order to take care of Clara. She does not want her daughter to make the same mistakes that she made when she was young. This leads to stalking, yelling, pushing her farther and farther away. Although she's still happily married to her high school boyfriend Chris Grant, she's always imagining what her life would look like if she had never gotten pregnant. This goes from bad to worse when her sister and husband both die in a tragic car accident. Questions arise as to what they were doing together in the middle of the night. Was it an affair or were they planning a party? These just questions that will never be answered. In just one night, Clara loses her aunt as well as her father. She seeks comfort in Miller Adams, something that her mother doesn't think it's a good idea. She does everything in her power to stop her daughter from seeing this boy, but nothing seems to work. Her actions just push her closer to this boy. Miller Adams eventually gets tired of being used by Clara to punish her mother. In the end, Clara has nobody. It's either she fixes her relationship with her mother or she will be alone for the rest of her life. In the case of Morgan Grant, she has to let go of the past. Maybe come to terms with the rules of parenting. That is, you cannot control everything your child does. She alone can fix the relationship with Clara by convincing her daughter that she does not regret having her. Will she come to terms with her past? Will Clara and Morgan find love after all the loss they have gone through? What surprised me about the trailers was that it looks cheap, not in a good way. There were no sets that looked different or unique. For example, in most cases, there are usually nobody in the background, especially in the hospital scene when Clara and Morgan received the news that Mel Adams is dead. There is virtually no one in the hospital. This is absolutely something that will never happen. Since this movie is assumed to be set in the real world, it's something that will throw the audience way off. This is obviously a nitpick, but it's crucial. Background actors makes the movie engaging. They help feel like this is a real life world with real life people inhabiting them. Another instant is outside the church when Mila is consoling Clara. There is absolutely no one behind them. It is not common during church burials. It's either the writers have no idea what happens in these places or they just wanted to be done with these scenes. This makes me skeptical about the director of the film, Josh Bone. I looked up the director. What I found out did not fill my heart with confidence. One of his movie catalogs includes The New Mutants, one of the worst movies to have ever been made. The budget of the film has not yet been released to the public. My personal speculation is that the film costs around $20 to $30 million. Anything above that, I will have to look at the director very different. I'm not saying that Colleen Hoover's books requires a large budget to make them come to life, like Tolkien's Lord of the Rings books. Its Enders, for example, had a budget of $25 million, yet the film looked like no expense was spared. I was glad to see that Colleen Hoover was not involved in the writing process of the film. I learned from J.K. Rowling that authors should remain authors. They are unable to write scripts for the big screens. There's a difference between making a 2-hour long movie and writing a 1,000-page book. Personally, I do not think the actors have to make an impressive acting performance. The script does not require them to do that at all. The cast of the movie are well equipped in delivering the lines. All of them have been involved in projects here and there. McKenna Grace has to be the standout. She started her career while she was still a child. It is surprising that she hasn't fallen into drugs, addiction, like most child actors fall into after they become adults. She has starred in amazing movies and television shows. Most fans love her performance in Yak Sheldon as Paige. Netflix's most watched film is Gifted, as she stars alongside Captain America himself, Chris Evans. She has also starred in the Ghostbusters franchise. This film, Regretting You, also has amazing actors that have starred in good movies and shows. Actors like Dave Franco, Clancy Brown, Scott Eastwood are also making appearances in this movie. The music soundtrack that will be played in this film are not mainstream. I listened to the songs to get an idea into what the movie might be about. The official soundtrack has not yet been released. After doing my research, the songs that are most likely to be shown are Everything Everywhere featuring Gracie Abrams, What a Time to Be Alive by Brightside, Dark Four Door by Billy Raphael, Highway Tune by Greta Van Fleet, Here Comes the Sun Remastered featuring The Beatles, and House of Gold by 21 Pilots. I have listened to all of these songs. I'm wondering why Spotify has never recommended these songs to my playlist. Fun fact, McKenna Grace is actually a talented artist. She has made a lot of good pop music. Personally, I love Baskin Baby, Haunted House, You Ruined Nirvana, Do All My Friends Hate Me. Before you check out the film in theaters, show this actress as well as the many artists some love by listening to all their songs. They aren't boring. It was made by talented artists who made songs out of their insecurities, pain, heartbreak. They found a way of making something beautiful out of their deficiencies. My prediction of the film is that it is bound to make approximately $100 to $120 million in the box office, maybe $15 million in video on demand. The reason I have this movie low is because it will be released in theaters in Germany and the United States only, in selected few theaters. It is still unknown as to why these two countries are the only ones that will get to watch this film in theaters. I still do not believe it will perform as high as it ends with us. That film had A-list celebrities with millions of fans. If Justin and Blake could have gotten along, then they could be appearing in the press tour of the film. They are currently destroying each other's public image in court at the expense of a movie that wasn't even theirs. Colleen Hoover has written a lot of highly successful books, each of them filled with the many dynamics of relationship, especially in first world countries. It ought to be marketed to couples or married individuals. That should be the target audience of the movie. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'll be seeing you in the next video.